Well, hello, good morning, and welcome back to Larne and the beautiful east coast of Northern Ireland, where the serious business of the elite race has already taken place this morning in the 2022 Antrim Coast Half Marathon. And we've had two terrific races, both men's and women's. But now we're getting ready for the mass start, and you can see the pipers are about to lead out the runners, and we're going to get the mass start race underway.
Right. Nice.
You all right there? Do you want a sandwich?
I'm good, thank you.
You okay?
Yes, thank you very much for the offer.
Very welcome.
Hi guys, this is Nigel Combs. Can you hear me now? Can you? Well, welcome back to the mass race here in Larne. We just apologise for a little loss of power, but we hope you were enjoying the spectacular pictures of the start of the race there, as all the runners were led by the pipers and got onto the course and the race itself got underway. So we apologise again for that little loss of power, but we're all good. We are back with the action here in the mass race. As the runners currently in and around the town, and just about to come back through the town centre before heading back out on the Antrim Coast Road, right out to Ballygally, and then heading back to Larne again. So a spectacular morning here in Larne. If you're just up, you will have missed the elite races from earlier today. We had two terrific races. The men's and the women's race was with the UK and the Irish all-comers records broken in both by the winners. Yamal Yemer won the men's race, and Ulamzar Fuel won the women's race, defending their titles from last year, of course, and again, both running extremely fast. And in the case of Yamal Yemer, he won the race comfortably, seizing control after 7 kilometres and moving ahead of his opposition and winning the race quite comfortably. The same for Uala. She was ahead of world record pace through the first 6 or 7k before slightly falling behind, but still producing a tremendous time. And as I say, a UK all-comers record. So we have between 3,000 and 4,000 runners out on the road at the moment, as the mass start here in Larne, with some very good club runners. It has to be said. And when you look down the start list, you know, from all over the place: Ballymena runners, Saintfield Striders, Mourne runners, Willowfield Harriers, City of Lisburn, Lagan Valley, and the list goes on. Sperrin Harriers, and we think as well there are 19 or 20 countries represented in the mass start race as well today. And you can see as well from the start list, plenty of family members out running together or against each other as well, as the race got underway just about 9.5 minutes ago, and around this spectacular course. So there's Scotland in the distance, and of course you can see it because the visibility this morning. It's just an outstanding, beautiful day here in Larne. And if you're joining us from somewhere around the world and maybe you don't know where we are, we're on the east coast of Northern Ireland, around about 20 miles or so north of Belfast. And this course itself winds its way up the early part of what's known as the Antrim Coast Road, which if you actually drive the full length of it, will take you right round to Ballycastle, and then on round to the spectacular north coast where the Giant's Causeway is, Port Rush, Port Stewart as well, and all the little villages like Ballintoy in between. So this is a spectacular part of the world. Here is the runners, the lead runners here in the mass start race come through Larne Town Centre, and they're just about to embark on the Antrim Coast Road. They'll go out and through the iconic Black Arch, and then past Drains Bay, and then out to Ballygally, where is the turning point in the race, and around they'll go and back then towards Larne and to the finish line here. So many of these runners were here early this morning warming up in the field, not too far away from our commentary position here, and enjoying the elite race, and now they get to run the same course as the elite runners did a little earlier on this morning. And for many of them, of course, this is for a lot in the mass start race, this is just a fun run. This is just a fun 10K, you know, out and back to really enjoy. But for some, of course, it's much more serious than that. And you can certainly see the front runners taking it very seriously indeed. So there is the iconic Black Arch, and the runners will be approaching that in, I would say, around about 15 minutes time or so. And in just a few minutes time as well, we will be taking a look at about 20 minutes or so, we'll be taking a look at the prize giving from the elite race as well, as they get presented with their medals. So stay tuned for that. So the lead runners, the lead pack here of 3 in the mass start race, making their way now out of the town centre of Larne. And there you go. It's just the most gorgeous late summer day here in Larne. And there you can see the coast road that winds its way up, hugs the coast all the way around. Peninsulas of, well, you can see there's Tor Head, there's, as I say, up towards, eventually you get to Ballycastle. And the swimmers are out this morning as well. There you go. The open water swimming became very popular during lockdown. And so there's a few hardies. I'm not quite sure I would do that, but however, and I'm pleased to say that having been on my own for the last wee while, Kevin English is back again with me. Kevin, when you look at those shots, you just really see how iconic this course is.
It's beautiful. Probably a little bit hot now for the runners. They won't appreciate the higher temperatures, but look, it's one of the most amazing places you'll ever see, and a lot of runners out here will just be casual runners and enjoying the day out with their friends and families. And
yeah, we're looking down the start list actually for the mass race, and you know, all the ages, you know, families you can see running to say, I'm sure some of them are running against each other, even in family groups. They'll want to beat brothers and sisters, I guess. But from all over the place, and it's a marvelous job that they do with the organisation.
No, definitely. Yeah, we had a little dust up in the mile race last night. It was a bit of fun.
A little dust
Yeah,
up. A little
yeah,
dust
yeah.
up, you say?
Yeah.
To explain a little more.
Yeah, it was myself and James and Dan Vanderberg. We had a little see who finished ahead of who. We won't say who. Going back to the leaders here. I'm looking here now, and actually the guy in front is a guy I coach called Graham Gilchin. Looking very strong at the front.
Ah.
Graham's new to running. He's only running in the last year, and hope for all of us out there. His PB last year for 5K was 18:01.
Well, these three have gone out at a tremendous pace, so...
Yeah, he finished fourth in the race series, which is the Dublin Marathon race series, where every 4 weeks they'll put on a race. So they'll start with the 10K onto 10 miles. The half marathon will be in September, and then you'll be going right through then to Dublin Marathon at the end of October. So
a lot of the runners, as you pointed out, Kevin, they're just here to enjoy the day, enjoy the run, enjoy a little bit of the scenery actually. But for some of these guys, this is very serious work here today.
Very much so, and we actually will see probably 6 to 10 runners will be faster than some of the guys and girls we had in the elite race, possibly because there's a nice prize purse put on by the organisers. Also there in third place is actually Mark Scott's brother. Yeah, so they're actually triplets.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was telling me last night that 2 of them are obviously Mark's into the running, and yeah, one brother doesn't run. Is this, sorry, I'm just joining in here, is this the elite trio?
This is still the elite trio, yeah, just they're about to head out onto the Antrim Coast Road, just down that hill. They'll take a left turn at the bottom of the hill, and then they'll be out along the coast and heading out towards Drains Bay, and then the Black Arch, and then out to as far as Ballygally.
So one of the interesting things with a lot of runners we see in terms of their footwear now, you see nearly 90% of the runners towards the top 20%, and even further back will be wearing the carbon plated shoes. Graham's actually only arrived yesterday, so this is his first run in them. Traditionally, people would have bedded in their runners and maybe done 20 or 30 miles in them.
It's good we're back on air guys. We're just getting ready for the elite prize giving as well, so it's all happening after that start.
James, can you give us an indication of, I said somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 runners out there today. Just
yeah,
give us a
so
little bit
I
of
think,
indication.
I think there was actually a fair bit more than that entered.
Yeah.
There was closer to 6,000, and I think there's obviously a bit of a drop-off rate, so we're hoping for at least 4,000 out there on the road today. Certainly, I think it looked like they were a mile up the road when the last guys went through. So yeah, we hope they all have a good run today. Certainly they've got the best of the conditions. They'll have watched the elite race with excitement. So now hopefully they don't go off too hard, but they'll have a nice day.
You can see. You can see further down the field, there's a lot of club vests out there. It's really well supported from both the north and south of Ireland. James was telling me we have over 20 national runners from different countries.
Yeah, there's 200 clubs in Ireland actually is up today for the race, and when you take mainland UK, there's many more, but 20 countries doing the mass race, so as many different countries or representations of nationalities in the main race as there was in the elite. So it's great to see, and we welcome everyone to Northern Ireland today. So hopefully they have a lovely bank holiday weekend.
Well, it's tremendous to see so many out there enjoying themselves.
We can see there one of the vests there. Jarlath Regan, he's taken over quite a good few runners, and they've all been coached by the one and only Sonny O'Sullivan.
Yeah, so that's there's a few big names in this. Mark Scott's brother, Rob Scott.
He's certainly in the first three. Yeah.
Oh, is that
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So the leading three men in the mass start race now heading out, as you can see, along the coast road here. As many of the field here, probably about I would say probably about a mile or so back, but all heading. You know, this is just a great event for Northern Ireland, and actually, Kevin, we've seen this year, going back to the start of the year when Helen O'Beary was here for the cross country, which was held in just outside of Belfast, the Belfast International Meet. We had two great track meets during the summer, the Belfast Milers Meet and the Belfast International Meet, and now on the roads we've got the Antrim Coast Half Marathon, and these are just, you know, terrific events for Northern Ireland across, you know, all aspects of athletics.
I think even when you think about the north and south of Ireland, traditionally a lot of people from the north would travel down to the south, but you see more and more people now are starting to travel from further abreast. We were at the training talk there on Friday, and we had people who travel all the way from Kerry, 6 hours in a car just to be here and be involved in the event. And the event, it's not just about a race. There's so much other aspects of the race that we're seeing put on by James and Ruth here. You know, we have the training clinic, we have a huge festival, lovely area for people to really enjoy the race after and make it a social gathering. You know, for a lot of people are staying up and making a Sunday night, they're having a night out. It's obviously a bank holiday up here as well. Going back to the race here now, it's still the three guys they seem to be sharing the lead, which is nice. Sometimes you get it where you have three runners and one guy is doing all the running.
No pacemaking, no. Of course, in this race.
No. So we can see there, Graham is at the front, and we'll just find out who the guy in second, and then we've Rob Scott then in third place there. Seem to be moving really well. So we're just 24 minutes in. I would be thinking these guys are somewhere in the region of 67 high to 68 minutes,
which is incredibly impressive.
And then we have another three guys back in fourth, fifth, and sixth here.
I'm digging the headgear, and as you say, actually the elite race started at 9 o'clock this morning. Not that it was cool at all at 9 o'clock, but as you say, the sun is out now, and here in our little commentary spot, it's feeling pretty warm. It's another gorgeous day, and as you say, some of the runners in this part of the race we're looking at the moment may not be appreciating the higher temperatures, but
we're seeing some lovely fluorescent gear there. There's a guy I coach there, Lee, there, in the lovely yellow bright shorts, and there's another guy I coach, Evan Reid, there from Portmarnock AC, and a couple of nice club vests there from Springwell and Dunor Harriers down in Dublin.
And as you say, just tremendous that people will travel, you know, distances to take part in a race like this. You know, when you look down the start list there, you see so many athletics clubs for the length and breadth of Ireland sort of represented here this morning.
Yeah, and you also got to remember quite a number of runners in this race will be targeting, you know, London Marathon, Chicago, Dublin, New York, particularly with London and Dublin now, you know, they're not too far away. 5 weeks out, we would say, is kind of the ideal time to kind of have a run out in a half marathon, maybe have a small taper, then start building up, where we taper down maybe for the last 10 days or 2 weeks, depending on the athlete. But what a view there, what a day, it's beautiful.
Yeah, some spectacular shots as our drone follows a little pack of runners as they head out, and they're not that far away now from the turning point. So Kevin's going to keep an eye on the race. I'm going to have a little chat here with the first of our guests who've popped up, who I've bribed to pop to pop up, and we're going to talk a little athletics with Jackie Newton here. Jackie, great to see you.
Is this on?
Yeah, it's you're
Hi,
on
Nigel.
air.
Yeah, great.
You're on air.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you. Yeah, what a atmosphere. What views and scenery today, and the weather has just been brilliant for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a terrific event, and I was saying to Kevin just a couple of moments ago. You know, when you go back to the start of the year, you had the cross country events, and with Helen O'Beary coming across to run, and then two terrific track meets during the summer: the Belfast Milers meet, the Belfast International meet as well, and then on the roads here in Northern Ireland, the Antrim Coast Half Marathon today. Across all aspects of athletics, it's tremendous that these events are coming to Northern Ireland.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've had the Armagh 5K, haven't we, for years? And I know we've not had that the last couple of years because of COVID. But you know, yeah, Northern Ireland can put on some amazing events, cross country, road, track, and attract you know, the best of the world, as we've seen today, the best athletes in the world to come here. And yeah, long may that continue. And it's a great place for road racing, and locally as well. You know, just look at the numbers that are coming through, and look at the quality that's coming through as well. You know, I think we were looking at some stats not long ago, and you know, women's 5,000 metre runners. If you look at, you know, all the women that are posting fabulous times. You know, Anne Marie McGlynn, Roisin Flanagan, Hannah Irwin, Emma Mitchell, Grace Carson. It's looking really healthy. So yeah, a great place to be an endurance athlete at the moment, I think.
Jackie, for those that maybe don't know, your role at the moment is?
Well, at the moment I'm with British Athletics. So I moved over to British Athletics a year ago, and I'm the head of coaching development. And prior to that, I was the director of coaching and athlete development at Athletics Northern Ireland. So yeah, I had a really lovely 4.5 years working with the athletes here, and I think my heart is very much still here, absolutely, which is why I'm here. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying seeing the results and the road running scene here, as well as the endurance scene here. After having spent those years working with Athletics Northern Ireland.
Well, I'm sure you'll be pleased to know that in her post-race interview after winning the silver medal in Birmingham at the Commonwealth Games in the 1500 metres, Ciara McGeehan name-checked you as she thanked absolutely everybody. But she did name-check you in that interview, and of course you've overseen, as you say, as part of your role with Northern Ireland Athletics over the last few years. You know, Ciara's development, and you know, while it may have come a little bit later than maybe we had hoped, because she'd obviously such a terrific career as a junior. You know, those 2 silver medals that she's won at the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships, absolutely brilliant. The one at the Commonwealth Games, honestly, tear in the eye stuff.
Oh, I had tears in my eyes. Yeah, I unfortunately I wasn't there. I couldn't get to the event that night. But yeah, I watched it on the TV. Definitely tears in the eyes, and just her face, fantastic.
Jackie, stay with us, because what we're going to do now is we're going to just move away from the mass start. We'll be back with that race in a moment. But we're going to go down now to the presentations for the elite races that took place yesterday. We're going to join race director, who's standing by, James McElroy.
And we're delighted to welcome back the prize giving of the Ladies Elite World Athletics label race for the Antrim Coast Half Marathon 2022. We're delighted to welcome Lady Hoey, who's going to be given the prize giving today. Without further ado, in third place in a time of 67:37 is Beatrice Mutai from Kenya. In second place in the Women's Elite race for 2022 was Tesihe Gamechu. And for a second year running, in a UK all-comers record of 64:22, from Ethiopia, Yelimzurf Yulaw. Okay guys, thank you. And then we're going to have our men's up. It was exciting, very exciting race the whole way from start to finish. Jamal ran away with it from 7k. If we could just ask the men up. And they're just coming up now, so and again another exciting race in the men's elite. So if we could get Alfred, Jamal and Shadrach standing behind here for the presentation of the men's elite 2022 Antrim Coast Half Marathon. We're just doing a little bit of shimmying there. But in third place, in a time of 61:08, coming back for the second time, is Shadrach Kimining. Making his first appearance in the Antrim Coast Half Marathon and also rocking the t-shirt is Alfred Ngeno. And for a second year running, in a new UK all-comers record, in a time of 59:04, from Ethiopia, Jamal Yimmer. Fantastic running. We hope to see the guys all back next year.
So the presentations for the elite race is earlier on. The winners, Ulam Zerf Uala winning the women's race, and Yamal Yima from Ethiopia, both from Ethiopia, of course, winning the men's race in both in UK and Irish all-comer record times. Those I'm sure will be ratified, and tremendous races earlier on. We're in the middle of the mass start race, as I say, almost 4,000 runners out on the Antrim Coast Road at the moment. Some looking a little more weary than others, it has to be said, and as the temperatures begin to rise on a glorious day. And alongside me, Kevin English is keeping an eye on, or trying to spot as many of the runners, some of which he trains and is looking at to make sure that they're coping well. And you can see the 10k marker there. Those aren't the leaders, I don't think, at the moment.
These runners have made a break from that second group. It looks like they're running at a little bit faster cadence than the guys in behind.
Yeah, we have. Last time we were able to check. There we go. The lead athletes and still the three guys together there, Kevin.
Yeah, and it was actually about a mile ago. It was actually lovely to see the guys were actually sharing the bottles with each other and realizing that the conditions are so warm today. They need to help each other out. You don't see that in all sports.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I say, they can, all three of them help themselves, help each other to quick times today. Also with us is Jackie Newton, and we were just sort of reminiscing a little bit about what a tremendous year it's been for athletics. And you know, we've seen those three major championships on the track back to back, and some special performances, especially for some from some Northern Ireland and Irish athletes. And you know, it's terrific again last week in Munich to see so many really good performances. Not just Kira's silver medal in the 1500 metres, but also, you know, really nice to see Mark English back and running well again at 800 metres.
And before I talk about any of that, Nigel, yeah, I need to mention Hannah Irwin. It was just going through my head before we were talking about the girls that are coming through in the 5,000, and I missed Hannah. So
and Hannah's been injured because she finished second to Helen O'Beary at the cross country at the start of the year, and was you know, in tremendous form heading towards the Commonwealth Games. Set a new Northern Irish record in the 10,000, isn't that right, earlier this year? Was in tremendous form and then picked up an injury, unfortunately. Yeah,
she did. It was very unfortunate. It was really the morning of the race at the Commonwealth Games. She'd gone out for a bit of a shakeout run and felt some pain. And she did get onto the start line, but within she covered quite a few laps actually, and then had to pull out, and then the MRI confirmed that there was a stress response there that needed to be seen to. So that was a real shame for Hannah. But she'll be back. She's got plenty more to come yet, and she will be back. Yeah.
So overall, the success that we've seen this year, I mean, obviously what we want to see now heading towards Paris, obviously World Championships next year in Budapest, and then of course the Olympics in Paris. And what we're wanting to see now is whether or not, even an athlete like Ciara, I guess, can take it to the next level. Commonwealth and European level is one thing, trying to reach that next level of world and Olympic, and what I mean by that is not just getting to the games, but being able to compete in a final. I mean, how capable is she of being able to do that now?
Yeah.
She's got the confidence.
Absolutely, she has got the confidence. I mean, that event is such a tough event to be in at the moment. Women's 1500 metre running is just phenomenal. And when you watched her performance both at the Commonwealth Games and at the Europeans, running, sticking to Laura Muir and really giving Laura a race, it was great to see. And Ciara's face, I mentioned her face, but you can just see it in her eyes now. She's really got that sparkle in her eyes. She's got that smile on her face. She is loving it. So yeah, I think there's another 2 years yet until Paris, and I think we'll see some great performances from Ciara going forward over the next couple of years. I mean, you mentioned earlier, it feels like it's taken a while since she was a junior, but this sport, it's a late development sport, so you do have to go through a lot. You go over a rocky road, don't you, in athletics? Your ups and downs. I think you have to go through that. It's not easy, and the downs make you stronger, and you come back stronger as a result of it. And I think that's what we're seeing with Ciara. It's not been straightforward at all. There's been some injury issues that she's had in the past, and a few changes in where she's been training, training groups, etc. But yeah, I think she's headed towards something great for Paris 2024.
And for those that don't know, as well, and people of a certain vintage who are watching our coverage this morning will know Helen Clitheroe as being, a really, really tough championship runner for Great Britain. And not too long ago, it has to be said, and she's now taken over coaching Ciara, and it hasn't been too long, and I'm not saying it's had an immediate effect. But, for all the great coaches that Ciara has had down through the years, and I asked her this last week, the likes of Eamon Christie, Jerry Kiernan, Steve Vernon as well. The one thing that they maybe can't do is actually put her in the mindset of a 1500 metres runner in a major championship. And Helen Clitheroe, of course, made many finals, and at European, World, Commonwealth level. So I'm just wondering, I asked her whether she felt that even that was beginning to make a difference, because Helen can almost explain from a first-hand point of view, as being her coach as well now. And she accepted that to a certain extent, that there's some insight now that she's getting in her running that maybe she didn't have before.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with it, Nigel. I do. I think it's only been a short time since she's been working with Helen. She was working with Helen and Steve for a while, so as the two of them working together with Ciara. But I think Helen and Ciara have really clicked. I think they're very good friends, and you can see that. After the races, she's straight over there to chat to Helen. And yes, I think the championship experience is one thing, but I also think that they have just clicked together as a coach-athlete pair. And probably, Helen would have experienced a lot of the stuff that Ciara goes through as a female athlete as well. So, and I think that's an important as well, that I just think they will relate to each other very well. Yeah.
Jackie, stay there 1 second. We're going to get caught up in the race. You're watching the mass start race here, and those terrific shots as the runners head out the Antrim Coast Road towards Ballygally. We had a leading group of 3, Kevin, and I'm assuming they're still out in front there.
3 has now become 2. So we have Rob Scott, and we have Andrew Ennett from Andrew runs with Morn Runners. Andrew is a very, very good runner. To be honest, he should have been in the elite field. He ran 30:48 there recently in the Highgate Harriers, and you can see there now he's after putting in a nice burst there. I don't know, is Rob just behind him? Yeah, he's just within 2 meters of him. And Graham there is hanging tough for third now. That's going to be a difficult point of the race for Graham there, because he's so far ahead of 4th place, and the boys are starting to get away from him there with what, 20, 26 minutes of running. Still a long way to go.
Well, as you can see, they have made the turn at Ballygally and are heading back towards Larne. And unfortunately, some of the runners, they haven't even made it onto the Antrim Coast Road yet. But listen, you know what? This is one of these great events. Scott Overall is back with us as well. You know, there's a lot of money being raised out there for charity as well today, and it's what makes an event like this. You know, we see it with the London Marathon every year, many other races as well. You know, where, shall we call them fun runners? You know, they're out there, they're doing their bit for charity, and they may not make it back before, you know, the middle of the afternoon, but they'll get there in the end, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I think calling them fun runners is a little bit. Yeah, I think obviously they're proper runners. You know, they're out there. They're probably training 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times a week, and you know they're giving it their all out there. And yeah, conditions are getting quite warm now as we get towards the middle of the day. There's a little bit of a breeze on the coast, but yeah, looks like it's all going well. And I think we've actually got Gemma Steele out there pacing the 90-minute half marathon pace, and Joe Pavey as well, as mentioned earlier. She's out there pacing the 2-hour group, so yeah, hopefully we might get a few glimpses of them along the way.
Kevin here's trying to spot as many numbers as he can on the way back. As we say, there's probably, I don't know, I think there's maybe about 4,000 runners out there at the moment. That Kevin's got the start list here in front of him. He's scrolling through.
Scouring through it here. Our screen wouldn't be the most clearest screen to see the numbers, so that's why we're struggling earlier to see the names of the runners.
And Jackie, we have one of our great champions is out there running the race this morning. I don't know what number he is. We maybe look it up, and we'll obviously keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, Michael McKillop, who is a multiple gold Paralympic medalist in the middle distances. He's out there today. He's going for 76 minutes. Michael's got his eye on the marathon for the T37, 38, T37, I think he is, yeah. Should know that off the top of my head. For the marathon time, which is 2:40 eventually. So he's training, he's now moved from middle distance training up for the marathon. So this is his debut on the half marathon. I did have a quick word with him at the start. Just said, as a middle distance athlete, do not go out too hard on this, because sometimes, you know, when you've done 800s, 1500s, you feel like you're jogging when you're setting off at half marathon pace. So I hope Michael's doing well out there today. I hope he's having a good experience out there.
It's great that he's also being able to refocus now. I know, the last Paralympics didn't go well for him, and just trying to find that motivation again, or something new, a new challenge, and he's now found that new challenge again.
That's right, yes, and he would look very, very happy on the start line, very happy to be here and to be doing those, the longer distances. So yeah, I hope he's having a great time out there, and he comes back with a big smile, on his face as big as the one that he set off with.
He's taken up golf recently as well. I've seen that. He's playing more golf than he's running these days.
Okay.
Well, he's got that target of the, and you know what, I wouldn't put it past him, to produce some times on the roads, yeah. and because he's that sort of motivated guy, isn't he? He's tremendous. He's been a tremendous ambassador for the Paralympics.
We wouldn't like to be in a sprint finish with him anyway, that's for sure.
No, not when he was at his very best. He was, I mean, I think it's sometimes what Michael and Jason Smith have achieved down through the years, I think, is maybe it's something that I don't think any of us really appreciate. Really, or maybe it doesn't get the appreciation it deserves for what they've done through multiple Paralympic cycles, and continuing to win gold medals, continuing to promote their sport. Jackie, I mean, you know them both well, and I know Jason's still planning to head to Paris, I think, in 2024.
Yeah, no, both of them very, very professional at what they do. The commitment levels and the way that they prepare and the way that they train and the way that they compete is really a second to none. Just see Andrew Annett there, he's taking the lead, has he? Andrew has represented Northern Ireland in he did the Commonwealth Half Marathon Championships in, I think it was 2018. So he's a very good athlete. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see him at the front of this field.
Kevin, they're heading back, as we say, towards Larne. We're still looking at a time, maybe around about 66, 67 minutes.
Yeah, I think 60. It has to be around that 67 at least. Anyway, you can see Andrew's had to put in 3 or 4 bursts now, and I think this might be the winning move. The gap's just ever so slightly getting bigger. Have a nice downhill section.
Well, there were some good times being put in out there today. And Scott, this is what makes an event like this so special. We've seen the elite races this morning. We've seen some two cracking races, 2 cracking times done by the winners, all comers records set. But you know, to actually then allow these, you know, the mass start runners here to go out and run that same course that they've just watched the, you know, the big names run as well is pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, again, it gives, once they finish and they've got their times, again, they can appreciate how fast those elite guys and girls are running, you know, comparing their times and what they've done on exactly the same course. You know, I don't think, you know, watching it on the TV, you appreciate how fast they're actually running. But, you know, if you can compare your times and, you know, you understand the course and because you run it yourself, you can see, you know, they are fantastic times run.
So we just got some information there from Brian at Pop-Up Races. Thanks, Brian. So the halfway mark with the men there was 33.50. So that's 67.40 pace. So we weren't too far off.
Jackie, we will let you go and go and enjoy. Just the last question, just as we finish our chat, is, you know, we saw, you know, good European championships for Great Britain and Ireland, some PBs, medals won, of course. Looking ahead now, as you know, we cast our glance forward to the, you know, over the next 2 years. As I say, there's a World Championships next year, and then on to the Olympics. What's the feeling like? I guess is there plenty of positivity around the moment?
Yeah, I think there is plenty of positivity on GB and NI and Ireland. You know, I think we're seeing a lot of success in the middle distances, as you know, as I'm sure everybody's aware of. I think the challenge now for us really over the next few years, and obviously 2 years is quite a short time away, but really is to get some strategies together for all of the events to look at. You know, if you look back at past results, you know, there are some. We have fallen back on some events, so we have fallen behind a little bit on some events. But yeah, I think there's the 3 championships this summer has invigorated a lot of people. There's been a lot of inspiration out there, and I think this is the time to really, you know, get things moving. Get athletes, find opportunities for athletes to bring them through to better performances, find opportunities for coaches to keep developing and to keep learning, and that's what I've got to do in my new role. So yeah, I think this summer is a great springboard for us to now leap off and move forward.
We wish you all the very best,
Thanks,
Jackie, in that role as we move forward. And you know, it has to be said, one of the great things about this summer, having been at the Alexander Stadium for the Commonwealth Games, is that to have spectators back. You know, how badly did we miss them in Tokyo, you know, 12 months ago. And you know, it was some of the athletics in Tokyo was tremendous. But you know, to have the fans back in that atmosphere in the Alexander Stadium a few weeks ago, just unbelievable. And you know, it wasn't in Munich last week, but Klosterhausen was winning last week in the 5K. You know, the atmosphere, nothing like a great night of athletics to really get the emotions going.
And also the marathon at the Commonwealth Games. I was there for the marathon, and that
Richard Ringer, what a performance!
What a but in Victoria Square, in Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games, honestly you couldn't move. It was tremendous and fabulous atmosphere here today as well. So yeah, I think the future's looking very bright for our sport. Yeah,
I mean, you guys will appreciate the way just reminiscing about the European marathon. How you muster that sprint finish, you know, after 26 miles, and you get to the final 385 yards, and you decide that's when I'm going to put the burst of speed in. It was a phenomenal finish.
When there's a gold medal on the line, I think you can dig deep
and you're
find
German,
that.
I guess, in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, and just on that point, you know, Germany, you know, they purposely targeted the Europeans. You know, they didn't send a team to the World Championships as perhaps like Great Britain did. and targeting that one race. Obviously, they didn't have the Commonwealth Games either, but obviously brought them a lot of success, especially home success in Germany too. So I think, having probably 3 championships in 1 year did hurt us slightly, especially with the marathon, by splitting the team up so much. But hopefully next year for the World Championships we can get some guys and girls out there. But looking at the qualifying times, it's certainly got a lot quicker. It's now, I think, 2:09:40 perhaps. And going to have to sort of an increase in performance to get a full squad out there.
Yeah, we look forward to what is it? Yeah, I always love the Olympic year is great, but the year before the Olympics, when everybody's trying to qualify and all the events are going on across all the sports, is always a terrific year as well. And we look forward to that next year. Jackie, thank you so much for
Thanks
popping
for having me. Yeah, no, it's been great. I've enjoyed that.
We wish you all the very best in your role. Thank you so much. That's Jackie Newton, who's going to go out and watch the finish, I think, to this race. Kevin, tell us a little bit. We do look like perhaps we've going to get a winner to the mass start here at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. That move that Andrew had made, it was a telling move now. I'd say we're up to 200-metre lead. Rob Scott in second place. And there's quite a big gap then to the third. You can see there now.
Yeah, in fact, struggling to see the second place athlete, Rob Scott, there at the moment. And so terrific move this. And shortly he's coming through, I think, back through Drains Bay here and then through the Black Arch. And then it'll be the closing couple of miles along the promenade and finally round to the finish line here at the Clean Memorial in Larne. And Joe, the one thing about it, I always think about it, whether it's a marathon course or a half marathon course that goes out and back, how you must feel when you're heading in the other direction. And the leaders looking very fit, looking very healthy, and going at quite a good clip going the other way.
I mean, for the leaders, it's good. I mean, obviously having raced this race before, you get a lot of support out there, not from the crowd but also the other runners running in the other direction. They're shouting at the leaders, shouting encouragement, and it's good. It's a good atmosphere.
Well, you can see that the locals, I'm sure some have come a lot further than Ballygally, but that's the Ballygally turning point. And so for those runners just rounding the turning point there, they'll know that they're more than halfway home, and they'll be heading back with the coast on their left-hand side. Meanwhile, our leader is through the Black Arch and is running well. He's running strongly, getting applause. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Applause from the runners going in the other direction as well. Let's talk about that camaraderie. In fact, some are stopping to take photographs of him.
Yeah. I actually seen a couple of miles back. He actually saluted another runner on the other side, and being a local runner from Mourne Runners, he must be getting an absolute buzz from being at the front here. And when you look behind there and you have a glance, you can kind of get a lift then to see that you have the race in the bag. And we can also see here now Graham is starting to come back at Rob, and I think sometimes when you're going for the win like Rob would have been, all of a sudden that's gone, the head starts to drop. Graham's got that bit of a lift now again. He's into second place. He doesn't know how far the leader is up the road, so it could be a good little dust up at the end between the two lads.
And in all fairness, if you didn't know Rob Scott was Mark Scott's brother, you could tell very easily, couldn't you? As well, Mark, I think fifth, wasn't he? Was he fifth earlier on in the?
He was fifth, yeah.
In the men's race, in the elite race, and actually for Mark, that'll be hopefully a little boost to his confidence. As you say, it has been a tough year for him on the track over the summer, and to be fifth.
But also, Mark does a small bit of coaching as well. I think he had 3 or 4 runners racing in the elite race, and I'm sure he has. He helps out his brother as well, no doubt.
I think in the London Marathon last year or the year before, Mark was actually pacing, and he did his pacing job, finished that, and then he jumped in and helped his brother because his brother was racing the marathon as well. So he could do with a bit of Mark's support and help here if he was there.
Yeah. Well, Scott's going to leave us. He's going to head out towards Ballygally. He's escaping.
So we've a little update here. Again, thanks to Pop-Up Races. Leading the women's race is Courtney Maguire from Clonmel, all the way from Tip. And in second place is Mary Mulhare. 2 very good athletes.
looking back along down through the men's field, and as our race leader, of course, is not too far away now from home.
This is the hardest part of the race now, because all of these runners were in a group, and now all of a sudden it's starting to spread out. So it's whether you can maintain the pace and go with them, or you drop off and just maintain what feels comfortable for you. See the lead bikes out front there. Nice view from the top.
Yes, and I mean, so well, we're about we think round about 10 minutes maybe away from greeting our winner here at the finish line. And of course, we had the spectacular start to the race where the local RNLI lifeboats sent up the 2 flares to announce the start of the race, and I see the lifeboats out there tracking the runners as they come back down the coast again. So
just seeing Melissa doing there. She was at the training talk the other night. She's chairman. Chairman of Boyle AC in Roscommon. So these are in around 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th place.
And here's our race leader again as he gets closer to home out at Ballygally once again. And those on the left hand side of the road, they're heading back towards Larne on the finish. And for those who are just making the turn, they know they've more than half the job done. And again, nice to see the crowds out on the pavements and cheering them on today.
Some signs there for Baz.
Yeah, we'll give Baz a shout out. He obviously hasn't reached Ballygally yet.
No. I'd say a few of them want to jump on the back of that vehicle up front. So the runner's streaming down here now, and you can see some people with
but that's concentrating on our leader now, as he's not that far away. There's a little downhill section coming up that'll take him onto the promenade and then past the leisure centre here, and then it's the last few hundred yards to the finish line, and he continues to run strongly.
Yeah, it actually looks like he's picked up the pace in the second half. He looked like he was very, very comfortable at the start. As say, Graham was doing a lot of the work, and Rob, was quite clever too. And now he just has that winning gap.
And for those just joining us, Kevin, tell us a little bit about who he is again, and the club that he's run for.
Yeah, so he runs with a local club called Mourne Runners, and one of his most recent runs there on the track would have been in the Highgate 10K, where he ran 30:48. His half marathon PB is 68:44, which he ran in Newry City Marathon back in May. So let's see if he can get close to that half marathon PB. Andrew also ran the national 5K, where he ran 14:48, and then in it was the fastest 10K until we technically ran the fastest 10K today in the men's race, but in the Dunshaughlin 10K we ran 30:45. So he's an athlete with a lot of pedigree, and he's shown it today.
Well, these runners coming back through the Black Arch again are just a few miles away from home, but our leader powers forward, powers on down the hill. And, he'll of course know what his PB is in the half marathon. He'll know, I'm sure he's glancing at the watch there, and he'll know how close he is.
I think at this stage of the race, when you're so far in front, the only thing is the watch. Sometimes for some people it keeps them motivated, other times sometimes you're better off switching off from the watch and just focusing on getting to the finish as fast as you can. So we have the pacers coming through here now. back to the race itself.
Well, as you can see from the runners as they head back towards Larne, such a cross section of ages. From the very young to the, well, those are not so young anymore, but out there thoroughly enjoying themselves on the roads this morning. And why wouldn't you? It's a gorgeous day. And beautiful conditions for running this morning. It's a fast, flat course, as we know. And very much enjoying themselves. Probably no one more so than our leader. Who I think very much is that PB time of 68.44 in mind.
He was so good he entered the race twice. I have him down here twice on the list.
Wow.
You can see now he's really starting to work. A little grimace on the face, and the shoulders are getting a little bit tighter.
And you said he runs for the Bourne runners. They based in Newcastle, Kilkeel. I'm just wondering, I'm assuming it's somewhere down in, obviously in that area.
I also have an Andrew in it for North Belfast, so let's hope we didn't. That is the Mourne. That's the Mourne best. It definitely is. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice downhill section here. Really took that corner really well.
Well, he'll know he's leading, and he'll know he's winning this race. As he passes the 20k mark.
1k to go, so we're looking for a big PB here now.
Well, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be
somewhere around 67.15, 67.20. Although he has to climb that nice hill at the end, 600 meters. So the organisers, James and Ruth, have put on a bonus prize. We don't know what the prize is, but we have a chip timing mat at the bottom of the hill and a chip timing mat at the top. And whoever runs the fastest today gets the prize.
Okay, but we're not sure what the prize is. Interesting. Well, as a few of the runners head back towards the finish line, we need to salute our winner, don't we? We need to get ready here at the finish line to welcome Andrew Annett back.
Here we are.
Well, here's the start of the climb, and this'll test. That's cruel. It's a little cruel at this stage of the race. But he looks, he looks strong, doesn't he? As he makes his way. Oh my goodness, that looks absolutely brutal.
He's got that winning feeling though.
Well, he's
about 90 seconds from the finish.
Yeah, pretty much around the top of that. He can.
Oh, that hurt.
Wow, you've just done 20k, and then the organisers threw that at you.
Thanks, James and Ruth.
Yeah. Well, that's the finish area. As you can see, the leisure centre there, the chain memorial, and the finish line just around to the left. And it'll be Andrew Annett who will win the mass start race. He's on the downhill now.
And we should start to see some crowds now at the finish. That'll give him extra encouragement as he turns the last corner.
Still looks full of running.
The old saying, what goes up must come down.
Well, he deserves a little bit of downhill respite after.
Last turn here now into the finish.
So Andrew Annett comes round past the leisure centre. He'll come into our view here very, very shortly. And as we say, his previous best for the half marathon, 68:44, which he is about to smash in great style. As we look out, we can see the camera car, and just behind, here comes Andrew Annett into the finish chute now. Just a few metres left to run. Can he find that final little sprint? He is trying to muster it, isn't he? He's given it absolutely everything that he's got. Congratulations to Andrew Annett. He wins the 2022 mass start race here at the Antrim Coast Half Marathon. The time was round about, what, 67:30 or so when he came through the finish line. We'll confirm that a little bit later on. But he looks pretty refreshed for a man who's just run 67:30 for a half marathon. But he'd be pleased. He'd be so pleased that beating his previous best by, well, about 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Correct. Yeah. Brilliant run.
We could, he's just. I think he's looking around for someone to hug. Looks like he wants somebody there to. Well, he's looking back, I think, for the thumbs up, and I think he's going to look out for who's going to finish second and third. Finally, somebody's there to give him
they heard you.
A bit of a hug there, and congratulate him on his win. Although he might have shared his water. That might have been the other thing he might have done. So we wait for the second and third place finishers here at the mass start race to.
Looks like it's.
Well, Rob Scott looked as though he was struggling the last time we saw them.
Yeah.
But we await the. Well, here comes.
It's a brilliant shot. It looks like, it's Graham Gilchin. No, it's Rob. No, it's Graham. Well done, Graham. Graham's time last year was 1:31.
And he's 1:09.
Yeah.
That's your training.
Well.
That's your coaching. That's your training.
22-minute PB.
I would be taking all the credit for that.
Well done, Graham.
So our second place runner is home. We expect, hopefully,
Brilliant.
it's Rob Scott, although Rob is looking tired, it has to be said. But here he is.
Good man, Rob.
Rob Scott will take third place. Comes home at about 69:40 or so, and well done to he might have the bragging rights in the Scott household tonight. Brother Mark finishing fifth in the elite race a little earlier on, and Rob finishing third here in the mass start.
Who's buying the drinks?
Well, that's a good question. Not me, I think it would be the simple answer. Oh, the pictures are just gorgeous this morning. I say it's been another great event here today, and it'll go on for a wee while yet as the mass start runners all make their way out and back from Ballygally. But it's been another wonderfully well organised and run event by James McElroy, and here we can see them coming through Black Arch on the way back. That's what, about 3 miles maybe from the finish?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, and
the first year we had the race on here, it was obviously during the pandemic, and just some amazing shots coming through the Black Arch.
It's a spectacular course, all right, and
many an Instagram had it up.
Well, all of these guys are going to be home sort of well before, sort of round about 12:30, quarter to 1. Plenty of time for their Sunday roast.
There's Leanne Gibson there going through Victoria Park.
Yeah, we obviously we wait the leading lady to
Oh, big move, big move there. Look, he's had a couple of glances now. Can he maintain it? Oh, the pain is etched on his face.
Well, we have a few more coming across the line. And you see, all I'm doing now is looking out for Michael McKillop to see if I can spot him. And coming through, our Paralympic champion out there, and as we say, running his first half marathon today. And who knows what kind of catalyst that might be for him for the future.
Plenty City of Derry vest there. Paddy O'Donnell just came through there. I think that's probably our first 6 runners through.
Yeah, we can see them gathering just outside here, and those who have finished in the men's mass start certainly. And as you say, some of them looking, some of them have really put their heart and soul into it this morning. All with their personal goals to achieve in a race like this, whether it's a PB or running with the family or raising money for charity, whatever it happens to be this morning.
You all right? Is there any water? Where's all the... I know I can get.
So we can see the finishing area. You can see the finish line just on the left-hand side there of the picture as they come past the leisure centre, but a little further back down the course, of course, is the and a more leisurely space, but woman across the line.
Need a bowl of water? Yes. There you go.
It's Courtney McGuire of Clonmel, so all the way from Tipperary, and tremendous win for Courtney. And she came home there around about 74 minutes or so. Again, the times will all be confirmed. All the runners, of course, are all chipped, and they'll get their exact times a little bit later on. But tremendous run there from Courtney McGuire from Clonmel to win the women's mass start as well. So we have the winners in the men's and the women's races. Well, you can see some of the runners there just looking at their watches. They'll be on their own schedules. Some a little bit more relaxed than others, of course, as they aim for a quick time around this course. We can see them coming through the finish line. Roughly 76 minutes just since the start of the race, and we can see just outside our commentary position as they come through the finish funnel. And, all very well looked after. Any or maybe in a little bit of distress or are being well looked after by the medical personnel here at the finish line, and then they make their way up the road here just opposite our commentary position and back around to the field where they'll pick up their belongings.
Wait for Antrim. Yeah.
Well, I think you get it. Well, there's some of the guys really enjoying themselves out there on the course this morning. I say everybody being well looked after at the finish line.
So we're going to be joined by the race winner Andrew, and we have Graham here who finished runner-up. Graham's going to give us a little bit of a rundown of the course, how it was, how the conditions were, and how the race went for him. So,
yeah, Graham, let's have a wee chat. Listen, listen. It's a tough race. It's it's known as a very fast course, and three of you I think went out there and really did go out at a really good clip.
Yeah, I think we went out at kind of 3 or 4 310s. We did a very quick 10 through 10k, so 16. Sorry, 4k. Can't remember 10k was in the town. So, but yeah, a lot of pull. It is a fast course, but it's a pull on any course. Just trying to get through. Second was sitting forward. So
nice. That was a big PB for you.
Big PB, yeah, 72. She only fought last night. So.
Yeah, there's somebody here who's been taking a lot of credit for your
131 here last year.
Yeah.
Somebody taking a lot of credit here for your improvement this year. How much is it down to the?
Yeah, big one. Kevin's great. Like, just turned up each week, but yeah, 129 here last year. So come and do that and just over now.
And let's have a word with our race winner who joins us as well, Andrew. Many congratulations. You went off at a pretty good clip, and then just just after the turning circle, I think at Ballygally, you decided to kick on.
Yeah, it was great to be in a bit of a fitness on here for the length. We made the race fast from the start, and yeah, it was great to be part of that. A little bit of a tailwind turning point. Yeah, the race seemed to be open up a little bit. This is how you get from the cheer, being
we noticed that there was a few points where you were almost giving people high fives on the other side of the road. You were waving at a couple of people.
A few old friends from when I was at university, and people I used to train with, and people were very supportive of me back then, and continue to be.
So how long are you running yourself now?
I'm 2010, so it's 12 years.
That was about a 75-second PB, was it?
Yes, big PB today.
I'm just wondering, how aware are you when you come into the last couple of miles and you're running on your own? We had your PB here at 68:44. I'm assuming you're aware. You obviously know what it is, but how much are you aware that you're close to?
I wasn't overly. You sort of know by the feel of how the race is went. You know your body feels. You can kind of feel that you're maybe in a zone that you've never been before, and that's probably more what it feels like, to be perfectly honest. I thought maybe it would have been 30 seconds or so. I didn't know the degree of how much the PB was, and I think you just kind of have to. I always find it better to race a race rather than try to run for a time. So
can I ask you,
that group today helped.
That last hill, did you enjoy it?
Not one bit of it. I tell you what, I enjoyed even less, the steps up to this bus.
that hill near the end, that was almost cruel and unusual. You've run 20k and then suddenly the organisers sticking that in
I nearly missed it.
Yeah,
I nearly missed it. I had to get pointed back. I didn't want to go through it that much, but my legs are like kind of locking coming up. But once you're over, back down, I suppose, quick enough. But.
So listen, what's next for both of you, Andrew?
Well, yeah, I've had quite a long season I'm very happy with, so I'll take maybe a few weeks downtime and see what the autumn looks like. No real plans as of yet, but a great way to sign things off, I suppose.
Do you plan on ever going up above the half, or are you happy to kind of stay from 5k through to?
I kind of like this distance.
Yeah,
in and around between 30 minutes and an hour, just maybe slightly over.
He's a smart runner.
Maybe someday the marathon.
All eyes on Dublin now, so October. Big confidence boost, and then 1 weeks to go. We're blocked together for Dublin.
But guys, listen, many congratulations this morning. That was a terrific race to watch, and well done. Well done to you both. And you know, I guess when you come to an event like this, there's not much more you can ask for than a PB. And you know, both of you achieved that this morning, and Andrew, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Well done, guys. Thank you so much indeed. And
Thanks very much.
yeah, just a reminder, our first woman across the line was Courtney McGuire from Clonmel as well. As we can see, all of these runners, you know, they've achieved something this morning. They've completed the course here at the Antrim Coast Half Marathon. And one or two obviously finding the pace out there a little bit more difficult than others. So Kevin, it's just as we watch the runners coming across the line there, as you can see just on the left-hand side of your screen, that's where we are, or close to where we are. It's been a tremendous event again. Credit must go to James for pulling it all together as he does every year. But to see the strength of the field in the elite races, to see all the all-comers records for UK and Ireland both broken by the winner of the men's race, Jamal Yemer, and of course Yula on the women's race, and to see such fast times, and then you know, to allow the runners to go out there in the mass start, and for many of them there tonight, as I say, they'll take away a PB for this distance away with them, and it's just tremendous to see.
It's brilliant. I mean, last year in the elite field alone, we had 68% ran PBs. This year seemed to be a little bit tougher, which then will show you how good Jamal Yimmer and Yellamzerf's runs were today. You know, you can see those top athletes are coming back year on year. They obviously enjoy the event, the atmosphere. James is, you know, he puts on a great event, and you can see loads of smiles. I know it's been a tough day for some runners, but you can see loads of smiles there when people finish to get their wooden medal put around them, and recycled t-shirt as well. Well done.
So what's the next stage for this event, do you think? Can it become even bigger than it is?
Yeah, I think now the foundation is laid, and now it's really the numbers should start to come. It's just a fantastic place to run in. It's a great event, and it's an ideal prep, like we said earlier, for those that are running maybe a winter type marathon. You know, I know London will be switched next year to April, but the likes of London, Chicago, New York, Dublin, to test your fitness out. And you can see as well there's pools of runners from different clubs coming up, and they're making it a social gathering and having a bit of crack.
And is it the right time of the year to run it? You're talking there about, you know, if you want to even increase the not necessarily the size of the field, but the quality of the field, even, you know, is this the right time of the year to have it? It's such a, I know it's such a congested schedule at times.
Yeah, to be honest, I think James this year, he had so many inquiries from top athletes. He could have taken another 200 if the budget was there, or, you know, you don't want to have too many in the elite field either. And look, it's not all about the elite either. The mass field here, this is where we see the big numbers, and I can see the numbers in that grow massively over the next 2 or 3 years.
Kevin, listen, thank you so much for your expertise, keeping me right.
Thank you.
All morning. And we're going to leave you with the pictures as many of the runners finish their own 2022 Antrim Coast Half Marathon, coming across the finish line in the mass start. With thanks to the whole production team behind the event this morning, to James McElroy, of course, the race organizer, for bringing all of this together. And say we'll leave you with these beautiful shots of the finish area here. And we'll wish you a very good Sunday, and from all of us here on the production team, it's very goodbye.